I've been involved in this for a long time. I started studying the drug war back in the early to mid 80s when I actually went to work in the State Department's Narcotics Bureau, got a security clearance, interviewed drug enforcement agents around the world, and then started getting on in advocacy at the height of the drug war hysteria in the late 80s. So I've been doing this for a long time, and it's immensely satisfying to see the victories that we're having right now. I guess the first thing is, don't assume it's in the bag. Right? Everybody feels like cannabis legalization in America is inevitable. They're beginning to think marijuana is just going to legalize itself. The people looking to make money in this are just counting on all the activists to just keep doing what they're doing without thinking where the money is coming from to make that happen. And the activists sometimes are getting so overconfident that they think we can win anything. So I think we have to keep in mind we're in a very real, very tough political battle, and it is far from over. The most significant one is never underestimate the importance of really deep level work and engagement with the people you're trying to move. I think about ballot initiatives because we had sometimes won them just by raising the money and doing the advertising and reminding people to vote. But sometimes you really have to work the ground, work the coalitions, work the legislature. You can't forget that. You can get lucky, but you can't keep winning without that hard work. Well, look, there's going to be somewhere between 5 and 6 legalization initiatives on the ballot this election day. There's going to be between 2 and 4 medical marijuana initiatives on the ballot. What I'm hoping for is we can win as close to all of them as possible. And meanwhile, I'm hoping that Canada becomes the second country after Uruguay to legalize marijuana. My biggest concern is that our side gets overconfident, that we fail to raise the money and do the work we need to do to win. My fear is that the other side gets more mobilized than it's been in the past, and that we don't succeed. But we have to do the work on the ground in the states. And we work not just on trying to end the prohibition of marijuana, we also work on trying to end mass incarceration in America insofar as other drugs are concerned. And we also work to try to deal with drug use as a health issue, not a criminal issue. That means needle exchange programs to reduce AIDS. It means trying to reduce overdose fatalities. When it comes to the industry, we don't work for the industry. We don't lobby for the industry. I personally and my colleagues don't invest in the industry. But my pitch to the industry is, when your interests and our interests coincide, which more often than not they do, there's no better investment than investing in Drug Policy Alliance. More and more people know it, but more have to know it, that as a former administrative law judge of the DEA once said, this may well be the least dangerous psychoactive substance commonly used in human history. It's not to say you can't get addicted to it. It's not to say it can't be problematic for people. None of us want our kids, waking and baking and stuff like that. But bottom line is, this plant, as a safe product, compares so favorably to almost everything else out there, including alcohol, tobacco, and most pharmaceutical drugs that people use to affect their mood, their energy, and everything else. If you want to know where things stand in America now, marijuana is legal to varying degrees in about half the states for medical purposes. It's legal in 4 states, Washington, Colorado, Oregon, and Alaska, and DC sort of. But keep in mind, in some states, it's still a felony to possess it. It's still a federal felony to take it across borders. The federal government has relaxed its enforcement efforts, but they're not out of this. So there are still well over 500,000 people getting arrested for marijuana possession each year. And there are still tens of thousands of people getting busted for selling this stuff, and people serving time in federal and state prison. So don't get overconfident in terms of your own marijuana use. Even in those places where it's legal, it's still not legal to do it in public. So be careful. Get involved locally and support the Drug Policy Alliance. We're the national entity. We're the conscience of this movement. We got to win this thing.
Manna falling from heaven. Gold is in the streets, right? And we didn't have to spend a penny to get it here. We got a lot of good do-gooders like Nadelmann and Campy and Boyd and feeling like bring all the money in and create these wonderful profit opportunities for us. God, that's nice of them. What are they again? But we're gonna make some money, right? And then I go and say,